Hello traders, my name is Frank Paul. I'm one of the mentors at forexmentor.com. I'd like to welcome you to this complimentary weekend video presentation introducing our latest addition to the ever-expanding library of professional caliber trading resources available for Forex trading specialists at forexmentor.com. This one called Forex News Breakout Trading, and as the name suggests, hopefully you'll glean from that what we're talking about here is a methodology for trading market moving news. So I just wanted to take the opportunity very briefly today, inside hopefully less than 10 minutes, to talk a little bit about what the service is, what it does, what it's all about, and if you have any interest in trading the news or simply even being up to date on the news environment, this might be a resource that you'll want to check out. So what it is, first of all, a trading methodology which we explain in exhaustive detail, a rational, price-driven, i.e. naked chart trading method for one of two types of technical pattern setups that tend to emerge repetitively in advance of market moving news. And so what's different about this method is that, first of all, it does not have you trying to chase after a move once it's already established, because when the market response is really volatile, that's next to impossible. The last thing that you want to be doing is watching a market taking off at a rate of 100 pips in 15 minutes and trying to grab a piece of it, because by the time you get in, if you get in at all, it's often too late, or there's a whipsaw or a correction or what have you. So what we do is take the perhaps counterintuitive approach that if you have a properly qualified setup, applying the very limited risk factors that we recommend of 15 pips typically, you actually get in ahead of the news, because where the strong setup exists heading into news, news often, if not most of the time, respects that setup. And so what we try to avoid here is getting in when the market's already taking off. We're trying to get in ahead of that. Now, if spreads widen out very substantially ahead of news, it's a good idea to think twice. Depends what we mean by widening out. If it's just 2 or 3 pips above normal, that should still be okay, because we're looking for certainly something much better than a scalp target. We're typically shooting for 50 to 100 pips, although sometimes looking for trades of less than that, as today's example will show. But for the most part, we want to get in before news. Okay, so we're taking the attitude that a strong technical setup heading into news mandates the response. We don't have to sit there and look at the data and trying to figure out whether it's good news or bad news and whether that favors the pair or not. By the time you've tried to figure that out, first of all, you'll be wrong half the time, because markets don't always rally on good news. Sometimes they do the opposite. Second of all, that's just not the way it works. Okay, the market moves too fast. It doesn't give you the luxury of time to try and do fundamental analysis when news breaks. So we're looking for one of two types of strong technical chart patterns that are explained in our course. And that is provided by way of 12 video modules in total, which has a running time of about 6 hours and 20 minutes. That's available online, as well as via an optional DVD upgrade. We also provide a resource-rich, members-only online area. It's not just a resource, it's actually a member experience. That's the way I like to think of it. That keeps you constantly up to date on the news trading environment. And we're going to now just take a really quick look at the members area, as well as a look at a chart example in just a minute. Before we get there, I just thought I would mention that we're offering for this first week post-launch of the new product and service 20% off early bird discount. That was supposed to be for the first 50 new members. We have, I think, probably as I record this, surpassed that total, but don't worry if you're seeing this video over the weekend. I would suggest that we'll probably just cut a little bit of slack here and through to the end of September, Monday, September 30th, close of business. We'll honor this continuing discount anyway. So we're probably over 50, but we won't, as a result, keep this discount offer on the table for much longer. So you'll definitely want to check that out. Information is available at the URL shown here. Look for more exciting updates and improvements also to the service beyond that which I briefly reference here in the coming weeks and months. For example, one thing that I want to add, a new content feature, is a news metrics tab, which will give you links to various Excel databases which show trend data in underlying news metrics over time. So for example, we're going to provide a database and a chart for market moving news, like for example GDP, monthly GDP, CPI figures, new job creation, unemployment rates, things like that. Because even though we're not trying to trade on the basis of fundamentals, we do include a feature in the members area which does address fundamentals, and it's just good to have that extra dimension so you know what to look for in the news trading environment in the weeks and months ahead. So let me now take you to the members home page here for Forex News Breakout Trading. We have a member area tour. You just click the start button on the top right corner here to just give you an orientation. We also have the Starburst logo, which takes you to detailed performance tracking stats. This is just a pop-up window showing the month-by-month results. And then we also have links at the bottom of the page for your choice of either an Excel 97 2003 or PDF version. And this is only in the members area. On the public page, we only provide the summary table as shown here. But what you can see from clicking through page by page, an additional feature that's really handy is not only do we show you the date and time and news item and currency pair, but we also indicate whether there was an actionable trade setup, and we reference that here, 15-minute DTC, that means downtrend continuation, so on and so forth. Dashes just simply indicate that there wasn't a valid or viable trade setup with the news item in question. But we also provide, again, price levels in and out of the trade, drawdown, profit, etc., but qualitative analysis as well. In this middle column that I'm pointing to, if I just get my cursor highlighted right here, setup, confluence, description. Okay, we're describing the news trade setup in a qualitative sense to provide you additional educational support here so that you can reference these trade setups and consider what it was that we saw on the chart and how that related to the methodology that we talk about in the course. So that can be really handy. And I'm just going to go back into full screen here. So that's the member homepage. The Learning Center is where you go for either a short or long detailed version of a course overview. Here are links for the 12 video modules in the online version of the course, and then we have a 37-page summary methodology booklet, PDF. So that's the members area, Learning Center. Our weekly news calendar, whoops, let's try that again. I just managed to get out. There we go. The weekly news calendar is self-explanatory. We give you the current week's schedule, and then we give you links for PDF versions of this week's schedule, last week's schedule, and next week's schedule, focusing specifically on events designated at dailyfx.com as high importance or potentially market moving. And we explain in the course how you'll want to, on a discretionary basis, sort of augment this listing from time to time. One way you'll do that is look at news blogs, including ours, where events that maybe aren't usually deemed as market moving but have a special importance are worth taking a look at as well. Weekly trade recap videos, links for online videos which run through a recent trade setup, so you just click one of those links to view it. Each of these videos is 10 to 20 minutes long. The chart of the week feature gives a pop-up for a chart view that pertains to the most recent weekly trade recap video, and then we have links at bottom for previous charts, so that's archived. Our YouTube video archive. I like this feature a lot, Frank's News Blog. Not because I've named it after myself, but simply because what we're trying to do here is give you the qualitative analysis of fundamentals and news, which kind of just helps you make sense of it all. And wherever possible, we try to provide a practical, trader-focused slant on news, not only talking about what the actual print was versus consensus or last, but how that related to the presence or absence of a technical setup that might have allowed for a trade on this particular news release. So those are all resources available to you in the members area. And what I'd like to do now is just quickly call up a chart to show you one of the two types of pattern setups that we look at for news. Now I'm not even trying to replicate the live edge of trading here by, pushing everything to the right hand side of the chart, so we only saw the setup rather than the aftermath. But this ended up being a fairly short-lived counter trend news trade, whereby we had on the 60-minute chart for pound sterling, heading into market moving news at 8 a.m. GMT, September 17th, a high, a leg down which broke the last swing point low, confirming that market flow was bearish, into a swing point low for 2 a.m. GMT at 158.89, and then into the last hourly bar ahead of news, 7 a.m. GMT, we saw a spinning top. Okay, keeping in mind again that market flow, despite this rally, is still could be designated as down, and that coming into the Fibonacci target zone, so that we were right to think about a sell as the natural follow-through, if any, on this news item. And our methodology looks for a confluence of resistance, and that's comprised of this black line here, drawn under these two candle body lows and a nearby 50% Fibonacci, not to mention the high of the preceding candle. And so we explain this particular type of technical pattern setup heading into news, as well as the means for identifying a logical take profit objective. We're always approaching these news trades as day trades, so what we want to do is find a 60-minute support target in the case of a sell that could reasonably be expected to be hit inside the current trading day. Now, if you look backwards in time here, the last really substantial support target was all the way down here at 157.83. To go from 159.25 to 157.83 on the particular news event that we had here inside the current day was a bit of a stretch. So a more conservative target is just to say, well, wherever the last clear substantial support was achieved, let's set our limit out there, and that's what happened on this particular trade here. Price came down, hit it, bounced around, retested that support numerous times, and if price cannot head any lower because support's in the way, it'll follow the path of least resistance and head in the opposite direction, which is what happened later on. And this is a telltale example of why it's so important to take profit at logical, rational, and even conservative places, so that if the market happens to go much further still, well, we're not going to worry about that too much. It's better to book profit with certainty rather than just hope for the best. Because as it turns out, a high-level uptrend reasserted itself later. But this was, at least as far as the news response goes, the appropriate side of the market to be trading. It was only good for about 40 pips, a little over 2-to-1 reward to risk. So I wouldn't call this truly a breakout. We're more interested in trades where we have a continuation setup aligned with strong market flow, a high-level trend. That tends to be the best environment. But there are a variety of different news scenarios that you have to be mindful of, which we try to address in the course and ongoing resources, and this is one of them. So not the best example of our methodology, but a correct one nonetheless for pound US market moving news, 8 a.m. GMT, September 17th. We explain all of the details, obviously, comprehensively in our course, which you might want to check out. So there we have it, a look at pound USD, demonstrating one of two types of technical setups that we look to line up with news. Even for not a particularly stellar trade here, I didn't want to choose one of the best ones for fear of being accused of cherry picking here. This is not cherry picking at all. This is a pretty mundane example, if anything. But if you want to find out more, again, please do check us out, forexmentor.com/FX News Breakout. I'll leave it there for today. If you have any questions or comments on this presentation, feel free to contact me directly via frank@forexmentor.com. Have a great weekend. I hope we cross paths again soon. We'll talk to you then. Bye for now.